6:09 on the 24th, a Saturday night of January 2026. It's my first night out in quite a while. The sun set around 4:50, so we're just about to enter into sky dark. We got a fifth 5-day moon. It's overhead into the south and heading west. And this is a view of Messier 1 and 5 seconds view at 30x. We'll do a little zoomage to 75x. It's showing all kinds of nice filamentary structure. I'm very pleased with the view. However, we may be having serious problems with GO2 this evening since I mucked around with it earlier. Okay, NGC1342 is this open cluster. Beautiful little sprinkling of stars in Perseus. But further south, magnitude 6.7. 14 arc minutes in size, some 40 stars. The brightest are magnitude 8.8. It's a class 3-3. It's very distinguished in the field, so it may be mischaracterized. And of course, its stars are disparate brightness. 2,200 light years distant RA 33138 with a declination of plus 37, 22, 36. Now at NGC 1300, a galaxy in Eridanus, bright. Magnitude 10.4, large, 5.9 by 4.1 arc minute, spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, so not much of a core. 67 million light years distant puts this probably at about 110,000 light years in diameter. The galaxy is quite present there, and it has a neighbor. It's possible this could have been in the 1200 series. This looks more like our galaxy right there. You can see the spiralicity of its arms, but the view is better at 75x. It's a RA3 1940 with a declination of minus 2441. NGC 1302, a galaxy in the furnace fornax. And you can see the core there with some extensions. It's magnitude 10.7. 4.1 by 3.7 arc minute, spiral with a bar of lenticular A with that annularity. So we're going to push the magnification up, although I do not expect to see the frontier. 75 million light years distant puts this one about 75,000 light years in diameter. We're at RA 3 1950 with a declination of minus 260338. NGC 1309. Ooh. That's an interesting galaxy. In Eridanus, magnitude 11.5. No wonder it presents as nicely as it does. 2.3 by 2.2 arc minute, spiral with a lowercase bc. 89 million light years distant, puts it at about 75,000 light years in diameter. RA is 3 hours, 22 minutes, 6 seconds with a declination of minus 1524. Off to NGC 1320, galaxy in the river, Eridanus, magnitude 12.4, 1.9 by 1.7, spiral with a lowercase a, 121 million light years distant, so maybe 65,000 light years in diameter. RA 32448 with a declination of minus 30232. Could be this one, although that aspect ratio is off. Maybe it's this embroiled with a star right there. Let's make sure we get that 150x view. Yeah, that's probably our Eridanus NGC 1320 right there. NGC 1324, galaxy Eridanus once again. I think we can see it there if it matches the data. Magnitude 14, 2.1. Yeah, it does, by 0.8 arc minute. Spiral with a lowercase b, the core should have a defined core, 255 million light years distant, RA 32501, with a declination of minus 54444. It's worth pushing the magnification up and taking the time to do so. Nice edge-on presenting galaxy. NGC 1325, halfway through the evening studies, and I do believe this to be our galaxy of the moment. It's an Eridanus, magnitude 11.5, 4.8 by 1.6 arc minutes. Pushing the magnification up, it does have a brightish core neighbor there, which we might have already encountered. It's a magnitude 11.5, 4.8 by 1.6, spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, 69 million light years distant, puts it about 80,000 light years in diameter. RA is 324.25 with a declination of minus 2132.40. Not a bad view for that far south. NGC 1332 is a brightish galaxy in Eridanus. Is this? Well, they got them a little bit out of order. They gave us the easterly before the westerly. The scope mount ran away on me, too. It does that occasionally. Magnitude 10.3, 4 by 1.5. It's called an elliptical 7. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me. Magnitude 10.3, as I said, 71 million light years distant. Right ascension 326.17, declination minus 2120.03. This one requires more investigation. I would recommend going to the skylive.com and seeing what you can find out about this, because it's got a very condensed core, which is not typical of an elliptical galaxy, although it is a 7, which means they're quite stretched out. Anyway, NGC 1332. Okay, NGC 1333 is a nebulosity in Perseus. Probably should have gotten there earlier. It's only at plus 31 degrees, however. It's 9 by 0.7 arc minutes. Brightest star in it is 9.5 magnitude. That gives you an idea. It is a reflective nebulosity, 1,600 light years distant, about the same as Messier 42 and 43. RA is 329.15 with a declination of plus 3123.28. I'm going to give it a chance to get a few more stacks and then turn it on again as I search for our next study. Okay, here's a few more stacks. We got 11. None have been ignored for a total of 55 seconds of exposure time, and that is our nebulosity. We're now going on to Eridanus. Had to skip a few because we caught them earlier. We're going to see NGC 1337 after seeing 13 stacks of our nebula. NGC 1337 looks like this might be it. Let's get the data. Galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 11.9, 5.7 by 1.5 arc minutes. That's our edgy honor. Spiral bar, lowercase c, not much of a core, 56 million light years distant, but probably some 80,000 light years in diameter. RA is 328.05 with a declination of minus 823.21. Right, not the best of nights. I'm not sure how things are going to turn out this evening, but I got no choice. I got to get back into the NGC, El Quattro's NGC Tour Series and tour the NGC catalog in sequence as much as possible. And tonight we got high thin clouds. We got almost a gibbous moon. It's going to be terrible views in the scope tonight, but we're going to do it anyway. It is 6:12 p.m. Sunset was at 5:01 this evening. We're not quite into sky dark. It's the 28th of January, a Wednesday night of 2026. NGC 1353 is a galaxy in Eridanus, a little further south, magnitude 11.4. I do believe we're seeing it right there. 3.4 by 1.4 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase b, 68 million light years distant, means it's probably about 60,000 light years diameter. RA 332.03 minus 2049.06. Off to NGC 1357. It's a galaxy once again in Eridanus, right in the middle of the field, magnitude 11.5. 3.1 by 2 arc minutes, spiral lowercase ab, and an angularity. Let's see if we can make out the frontier at 150x. Not likely, but I can see the extensions. RA is 333.17 with a declination of minus 1339.51. NGC 1358, another galaxy in the river. Magnitude 12.1, 2.5 by 2.1 arc minutes. You can see the core there. Spiral with a bar, lenticular lowercase a, so quite apparent core. 179 million light years distant, puts this at about 120,000 light years in diameter. RA 333.39 with a declination of minus 505.22. NGC 1363, galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 13.9. I think we can vaguely make it out there, despite the near gibbous moon and high thin clouds. This one is zero point 0.9 by zero point 0.7 arc minutes, but 428 million light years distant. It's actually quite large, maybe 140,000 light years in diameter. RA3 3449 with a declination of minus 950.33. Pushing up the magnification, there is NGC 1363. NGC 1367 is a galaxy in fornax, the furnace. And once again, I repeat, I would love having one out here, but it would really disturb the optical quality, as though the clouds and the moon haven't already done that. This is also NGC 1371. It's magnitude 10.7. Very nice. 5.9 by 3.8 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase a. RA3 3501 with a declination of minus 2455.59. There is our 150x view, and backing back out, let's have that look at 75x, which usually gives the finest aesthetic. Skipping a few in Deep South Fornax, we're now on to NGC 1376. Galaxy in Eridanus, magnitude 12.1, vaguely seen in the center of the screen. 2.1 by 1.9 arc minutes, spiral with a lowercase c, 185 million light years distant. RA3 3706 with a declination of minus 502.36. And if we take the magnification up, we get a more obvious, although quite dispersed, view. Did a quick look-see for NGC 1384 Galaxy in Taurus, which I imaged earlier under better conditions, both sky-wise and lunacy-wise. Magnitude 14.4.9 by 0.5 arc minutes, spiral with lowercase c, 439 million light years distant, RA3 3913, declination plus 154909. We are not getting any aperture block at this point, but we are getting lots of light absorption and reflection from high thin clouds and a near gibbous moon. Well, at least we're getting a few stars for NGC 1385. We've gone south again to a galaxy in Fornax, magnitude 10.9. Ooh, wow. 3.6 by 2.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase c, 65 million light years distant, probably 75,000 light years diameter, RA3 3728, declination minus 24.30.07. Sorry, folks, we're going to go through with this tonight because I need to move on to the NGC 1400 to 1449 series next night out, and it has to be soon. I can go through the next 11 galaxies and we can just capture the data, but that's going to be about it. I'm going to have to move on. And we're so far into this now, let's do it. I'm sorry. We got a few stars. NGC 1393, Galaxy in Eridanus. Magnitude 12, 2 by 1.2 arc minute size, spiral with a bar of the lenticular class. You know, it's really good that I got good focus tonight, and we're getting excellent centering. 95 million light years distant, RA3 3838, declination minus 1825.40. NGC 1395, Galaxy Eridanus, bright, magnitude 9.6. And I think we are seeing the core. 5.6 by 4.6 arc minutes. Yes, indeed. We can confirm that. Elliptical class 3, 77 million light years distant, puts it about the 100,000 light years in diameter. RA3 3829 with a declination of minus 23 degrees, 1 minute and 38 seconds. Watch this one develop. It's a galaxy in Fornax. Bright, magnitude 9.7, large, 7.2 by 5.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase ab, 61 million light years distant, probably 110,000 light years in diameter. RA is 338.52 with a declination of minus 26.2014. Now, I don't think the scope would be pole flipping soon. It's getting pretty close to being level and looking due south in culmination. And after a bit past that, the scope would want to flip, which is why I had to rush through this series this evening. It's now 6:52. And at this point now, looking over my left shoulder, I'm not even seeing Jupiter up there. So we ought to be happy we managed to get through this series with occasional views of the cores of the brighter galaxies, despite the sky, which is now stacking up thickly with clouds. The moon, of course, has got a nice bright halo around it. And with that, I am going to say, carpe nocte.